Cripps couldn't quite. Quaynor for Main, wanted to return it to him. In the end, he settled on De Goey, and eventually it does get back to Quaynor. Side bottom, De Goey. Good hustle here from the Pies on the way out. This time by hands. Let's see when they can get a kick away. Well, maybe they will now. Thomas back to side bottom again. I think that's about a dozen handballs in a row. McRae will be the kicker, and he spotted Noble. So they've crept forward well. Is there one more to come? There is. Drifting down into the pocket. Hoskin Elliott, the natural leap. And they've pieced it together all the way. So Will Hoskin Elliott should be able to just pop this through, and he does. Some joy at last for Collingwood.
Centre onwards, there's just really no numbers there to go to.
McRae to De Goey, so they've got to buy a bit of time by hand, just shoveling it everywhere. They're mesmerising the Eagles though, and they do get through to Henry this time. Side bottom, demanding it in the goal square. You've got to give it to your skipper. He does eventually, and that's 2 for the Pies, and some questions for the Eagles to answer.
Corridor on his own.
Good enough to get out of the little bind he got himself into, but the kick was no good. Straight back down to Crisp, who's had an outstanding first quarter. His 12th disposal onto the chest of Josh Thomas. Didn't mark it, but does recover. And Jamie Elliott had no competition whatsoever, as Rotham didn't get the read on the play. Looking for his first of the afternoon. And to give Collingwood a 16-point lead, well, the Collingwood crowd, if they were here, would be going crazy.
And that the ball user is being given to use the football.
Correct weight through the middle too. McRae to De Goey, and delivers onto the chest.
Where is that?
Ginnivan now, the 18-year-old. He too looking for his first goal in AFL footy. His second game. A few tricks which we saw him apply last week, but this is just a straight drop punt, and it has the carry. And look how much it means to him. Second quarter begins at the MCG. A little bit of a standoff before the ruckman went for the ball. Adams to side bottom, tries to shrug, and does. Natanui, and that puts Grundy on a path towards goal. McRae just slotted in beautifully, and so did his kick. Right to the goal front, and Brody Myercheck gets a relatively simple shot. Shouldn't be an issue for here. For Brody Grundy, and he pops it through, so where you left off is where you begin. And that's come off the outside of the boot as well. Too hard for O'Neill, but easy for Crisp, and a driving kick forward onto the chest of Henry. He had an option deep, and he had one coming straight at him. And that's the one he chooses, and it's Jamie Elliott again. Can he make it 6-zip? It's tight. It's working back. This is a domination from Collingwood. Elliott and Kelly, and it's the Pies that prevail. Side bottom to De Goey with the decisive kick. Henry's covered some good ground just to get back there.
That was side bottom, Adams and De Goey in the back pocket who worked it out together. And that's side bottom and De Goey who get involved again at centre wing. And the kick down here to Henry. So I've not seen De Goey work like this before.
Well, he was fully wound up there. Maybe he just couldn't quite get the connection, but wouldn't you know it, when you're hot. Well, it's a mark to Cameron at the front of the goals. Well, his 19th goal of the season. There's another one to the Pies. Check. More offerings ahead. Ginnivan. Eagles do have an extra back in the hole, but he found a way to put it in front of Henry.
He's got a good set of hands. You've got to love the way he attacks the footy. And he backs himself. Oh, look at that. Look at that.
Josh Thomas.
In the corridor, standing all on his own.
Josh Thomas started to kick a few more goals of late. And he's guided that through, and that is 8. A lead of, well, this sort of margin is so significant. Unless the Eagles can maybe get 1 or 2 back before half-time. Side bottom's quite clear at half-forward. Bianco leading across the goal square. Side bottom is going to try and put it on his chest, so he couldn't help but take the mark. He's had his issues today with his kicking, Trent Bianco, but we've kept our faith in him. And most importantly, in front of goal, he salutes.
Which I've really enjoyed watching.
Quaynor identified Cameron. Eased onto the ball, back through the middle. The reach for it, Josh Thomas. Reeled it in.
They've owned the corridor. West Coast have allowed Collingwood to own the corridor today.
Another searing pass and another mark inside 50. This for a 50-point lead. What can you say? Hearn stumbling, and they've turned it over again. Noble spoilt for choice through the middle. Ginnivan out wide, and he just pops it inside, and Myercheck can have another look at it. So Brodie Myercheck, his accuracy has deserted him a little bit this season after he started with 8 goals too, but that's a fine kick.
No, I think he's a very good ball user, Hutto, but it hasn't been his best day by foot.
It ends with Quaynor. We know he's got the length. It's line ball. No, it's not. Mouth wide open in joy for the Pies again. Isaac Quaynor has kicked his first goal in AFL football.
It's never hard to work out when it's a player's first goal, is it?
Couple of games. Previous to that, he was at 20-21 every of those 4 seasons for the Pies.
Love that from Elliott too. Out of position, just gets in there and makes the ball spill to ground. That's fantastic to see at this late stage of the game.
Henry, Oscar Elliott. Now Elliott, a little instep. Cameron not going to get there. Oh, Cole left it hanging. And the Pies able to present Noble with a gift. Critical turnover.
The eyes are still darting around even as he walks in.
And that's not a bad effort. That shows you what he can do. Trent Bianco, come on down.
Great finish.
He's a really good decision maker, so it's a nice finish.